Beautiful. So, ranches and blue cheeses.
Mate, you can kick us off, mate.
Well, I've gone some, let's say, lesser-known ranches.
Wow.
They're not, I could have gone Eli Manning and
You could have gone the
could
obvious.
have gone Gronkowski, but I thought I'd do players that had little things that helped the outcome of their game. So not necessarily a big name, guys.
And look, it's tough to do ranches and blue cheeses based off
only
two
two
games. So it's going to be interesting when the Super Bowl happens.
I will start with Steve Weatherford, who's the punter for the Giants. That field goal that they kicked to win was a terrible snap. He had to catch it more or less on the ground, rumble it around, quickly get it down to get set, and more or less he was the reason that the field goal was good. So it's good to see a punter doing something.
Yeah, and those punters hardly do a thing.
I've got Vince Wilfork. Look, he normally is just your big two-gapper in the middle, but 6 tackles, one of them 1 sack, and he had that pressure late in the game that forced Siler to miss the pass. So, Vince, good job. The law firm?
He couldn't be blocked at one.
Yeah, just unbelievable.
Especially against the run game. Like, when they were trying to when they were trying to zone him off,
Yep.
he'd just keep slicing through, or he'd just take his man and bull rush him.
He was getting
every
penetration on pretty much every play. So,
yeah.
it looks like he came to play at the right time. The law firm, he was more or less their offense, which is surprising. 68 yards and a TD. He's never fumbled in his NFL or college career.
Well, now that you've said it,
Never fumbled. Anyway,
he's going to fumble the first handoff in the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. He got the offense moving when they needed it. So, I think he was probably the reason they won that game. I've got Sterling Moore. He was signed as a free agent, got dropped from, I think,
Now,
Oakland.
isn't Sterling Moore someone that I mentioned a few
Yes.
weeks ago?
But the last drive, there was 2 plays on the coverage that he broke up the plays, and were it not for him, they probably would have lost that game. And I've got Ray Lewis, but I've got him for his press conference after the game. I was really impressed with what he said. He said one player didn't cost us this game. I'm going to go have a chat to Billy, make sure he's all right, tell him to just flush it and we'll move on next year. And they said, are you going to retire? And he said, hell no. He had such a great... And they said, is this the worst loss of your career? And he said, no. Whether or not that's true, but for me, a leader is somebody that says it wasn't the kicker's fault. We all played a part in the loss.
He's got to say that.
I know he does,
He
but
can't come out and say, "Oh, that kicker's a dud."
of course he's not going to say that. But I just like the way he was interviewed. I like the way they said, "Well, does that mean the end for you?" And he said, "No, I'm going to go out and do it again." So I like the way he was interviewed.
Okay.
I've got an honourable mention for the Pollard Jimmy Smith pick, where he tapped it back to him and he picked it off his bootlaces. Unbelievable. I've got Ed Reed as well as honourable mention. 2/3 of the earth is covered by water. The rest is by Ed Reed. I thought that was a great little
You
something.
just love that saying.
You
just keep saying it over and over
it's
again.
Fucking awesome. Anyway, there was a break-up on the 3rd down with 2 minutes left, which gave the Ravens a chance to drive the ball and do whatever. So there are my unsung hero ranches.
They are unsung.
Unsung.
But now they've been sung.
So now they're the sung heroes.
They're the sung heroes. That sounds like a Chinese noodle brand.
Eat sung heroes.
Sung hero brand.
Chicken flavour.
You eat.
Racist.
Then
I love it.
spew.
I love it. I love a bit of racism early in the night.
Yeah.
So ranches.
Your
ranches.
My ranches are... It's a good question. Because you've used up most of them.
Well prepped as always.
Mate, look, that Jimmy Smith pick.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Are you serious? Off his bootlaces. Yep. Obviously, Bernard Pollard helped that out a fair bit.
It was a good job for him to knock it up to somebody that could catch it.
Yep. Also, Vince Wilfork, unblockable at times. Jared Mayo.
Yeah.
Look, that guy, since he's come back into the lineup for New England, he's really made a big difference to that defense.
Has picked up, definitely.
And, yeah, look, Super Bowl time, he's going to be one of the main players, I think, going forward. I thought Torrey Smith played a great game.
He did.
He was open a lot. It's just unfortunate that Flacco couldn't hit him a lot. Yep. That hook and turn where he scored, that effort to get into the corner of the end zone.
He took about 16 strides in about 4 seconds. It was unbelievable how quickly he moves his feet. Wow.
And look, I think if they can find another guy like that they can put in the slot.
Won't make shit all difference while they have Siler under centre.
Yeah, maybe. Well, maybe they need to go on maybe the Peyton sweepstakes.
Maybe they. Anyway, look, he made the championship game. You've got to give him respect for that.
Yeah. Look, I thought Frank Gore had a great game.
Yeah, he did.
For the 49ers.
In a losing effort, he was pretty much their offense. So.
Yeah, he made some great catches as well out of the backfield. Made some big blocks as well in pass protection. Victor Cruz.
Uncoverable.
10 catches, 142 yards. Didn't get a TD.
Where was he 2 years ago? Nowhere to be seen.
I remember he was in a preseason game and he made all these mad catches, and I was like, this guy's awesome.
Yep.
And then he got injured. He got injured and then never played after that.
Yep.
Vernon Davis, I've got to throw him in there just as a
2 TDs is
honourable mention.
Pretty good.
Yeah, not too bad. Just don't stand on the bloody camera
Don't get
tower.
up on the camera tower.
Just score and move on.
Dive into the crowd. That's fine.
Justin Smith.
Justin Smith.
For being an absolute beast.
For being a motor. He's a motor.
He's a kind of ranch sauce that you want on your salad.
Yep. I like it.
You know, spicy.
Spicy, and it just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah.
Just never ends.
It lasts all the way to the end of the salad.
All the way to the end.
Yeah.
You're weirdo. So, blue cheeses.
All right, who's stunk it up for you this week?
The person that stunk it up the most,
apart from the obvious people,
was Joe Siler Flacco.
Here we go.
Now,
why do you pick on Flacco so much?
His press conference after the game, it was the complete opposite of Ray Lewis. This is how I play every week. You got to look at my game film. I'm always this consistent. Fucking bullshit. You're not. You have one fucking game where you outplay Brady because Brady played terrible.
Yes, he
Let's
did.
not fucking smoke his pole here. He had a 5-yard out to a tight end on a broken down play, and he hit a 2-yard hook for his 2 TD passes. He overthrew Torrey Smith when Torrey Smith was wide open. He underthrew Torrey Smith when Torrey Smith was wide open. He underthrew, I reckon, 4 passes and overthrew about 6. He wasn't accurate. Look, they had more turnovers. They had more rushing yards. He couldn't score. All he did was kept getting field goals. Just shut up. Nobody gives a shit about you. Just fucking sit in the corner, put your hat on and shut your fucking mouth.
Your Fu Manchu.
Put your Fu Manchu on. And he's talking about how undervalued he is and fuck off. My number 2 blue cheese.
Okay, so hang on. So based on that, do you think that the Ravens have to go out and find a passer?
Well, I don't want to ruin the rest of the podcast, those people listening on the Doodah, because I've got one of that as one of my 10 for Stokes.
Okay, so you're going to ask me that question.
I'm going to ask you that question. He's more or less in the... He's standing up now saying that he wants money based off this season.
Oh, yeah, it's his contract year.
It's his contract year. So we'll have a chat about that later. So if you're listening in YouTube land, you'll have to get onto the podcast.
You'll need to if you want to hear about that.
To hear about it. Number 2, Billy Cundiff. Look, I'm really sorry to do it to you. If it was a 54-yarder, I probably wouldn't put you in the blue cheeses. But, man, what was it, 34-yard? You got to put that over.
Yeah, it's a chip shot.
And where was he? Fucking off hiding on the bench somewhere, pulling his knob while he was waiting for... charges out onto the field. It was like
why
he
was
didn't
he
get
late?
set.
I don't understand why he was late.
Where
either.
was he?
I don't know.
At that point of the game, you have to know you're going in for a field goal.
I think he was having a Thurman Thomas moment.
Jesus.
I think he's trying to find his helmet.
Look, I'm going to put Tom Brady on my blue cheeses this week.
Brady is a blue cheeser all of a sudden.
Because he didn't...
Man, it's a fine line.
He didn't have a very great game, but he made mental mistakes, which is why I put him there. The Webb intercept, he threw it far too inside. If you got Gronkowski, one of the big guys going for that, maybe you get away with it, but...
There was a bit of contact, too, off the line of scrimmage, which held that up. It was a bit of a timing route.
There was, but he needs to throw that to his outside shoulder. He can't throw that to his inside shoulder. And the second pick, I know that after you get a turnover, you want to try to make them pay, but you can't throw into double coverage like that. And it was an amazing intercept, but you can't throw into double coverage, not when you're Tom Brady. And look, 2 turnovers, that's the reason he's in there.
Yep.
My 4th blue cheeser, Lee fucking Evans.
I feel sorry for Lee Evans.
If you catch that ball, we don't fucking care about Billy Cundiff not being able to kick a field goal.
He's not like he did
tiny
everything
little
right.
tap out of his fucking
That wasn't
hand.
a tiny tap.
Fuck me.
More slapped at that
Are
ball.
you telling me Megatron doesn't make that catch?
Maybe not.
Bullshit. He's got to go in there. You have to catch that ball in the fucking AFC Championship game with 30 seconds left on the clock. You have to catch that ball.
Do you think my auntie, if she had balls, would she be a bloke?
If my auntie had balls,
I'm
she
sorry.
would be my uncle.
You can't do that. Look, Lee Evans did everything he could. He caught the ball.
He didn't
had to get his
catch it.
other foot down. He's chucking it away, and Moore's basically jammed at it.
Well, look, I've given more respect for being the guy that knocked it away, but I have to give Lee Evans a little bit of disrespect.
I disagree. I think Evans it's just unfortunate what happened to Evans. He had a good game.
Bullshit.
I thought
He
Evans
did. He had a
played
good
well.
game, but you have to catch that ball.
He did. It's just that Moore made a play.
Bullshit.
Moore made a play.
Bullshit.
Typical quarterback.
And
Typical quarterback. Oh, you got to make the receiver has to make the grab every single time.
yes, that's what they get paid for.
Well, yeah,
They don't
DBs get paid.
They don't get paid to sometimes make a grab.
DBs get paid too. And DBs are good at slapping the ball out of people's hands.
I bet you Lee Evans gets paid a shitload more than Sterling Moore.
I feel sorry for Evans because of all the crap he's gone through at Buffalo, and he finally has an opportunity to redeem himself in
And what does he
the
do?
Ravens.
Lets
And
it
it's
slip
Sterling
through his
Moore
fingers.
makes the play of his career.
My fifth blue cheeser, and I'm really sorry to do it to him, Kyle Williams. I'm sorry, my man, but you can't fumble twice on fucking punt returns.
Well, the first one wasn't a fumble. The first one hit him in the knee.
Well, you know what I mean. You have to know that's hit me. I'm not going to run away from it. I'm going to try to dive on it.
Yeah.
And that fumble, it's sad because it might end his career. He might be known as that guy for the rest of his life. But who would have thought, Ted Ginn Jr. would have been the biggest loss to that 49ers team?
Yeah.
But anyway, there they are. Joe Flacco.
Those old Dolphins players.
They're legends.
My blue cheeses, my first one's Cam Cameron, offensive coordinator of the Baltimore Ravens.
Yep.
When it got down to the nitty-gritty of that game, especially in that last drive, they had 3rd and 3, and they had Anquan Bolden, probably the best possession receiver in the NFL, matched up with Julian Edelman.
Who's probably the best wide receiver DB in the NFL.
Yeah. And pretty much that whole drive, Bolden had been open, and Siler had been hitting him over and over again.
And then when it came down to
3rd and 3, let's get cute and run a draw.
Yep.
Dude, go to Anquan. Anquan's open. He's open the whole time.
With the way Will Falk's been playing, the draw is probably not going to work.
Oh, as soon as that got blown up, I thought, oh, no, that's going to rattle them. You know what I mean? And then the 4th down took too long.
Yeah.
And then,
pushing coaches out of the way, trying to call time out. And
it just was a mess at the end.
It turned into a shit fight.
I think the coaching really was what let the Ravens down at the end of that ball game.
It turned into a monkey shit fight.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
And, for a Harbaugh team, you'd think more than that. Look, my other blue cheeser is Michael Crabtree. One catch for 3 yards.
Where was he?
In one of the biggest games of your life.
Where was he?
Look, some of that's got to be on Alex Smith too, like whether or not Alex Smith knows how to throw the football to him, who knows? But if you're a top 10 pick, and you held out in training camp,
you hold out because you
saying
think
blah
you
blah blah, how
better.
good you are.
Yep.
Yeah. Come out and play big in the big games. That's what legends do. So, wake up to yourself, Crabtree.
I agree.
And my third blue cheeser. And, you've taken a few of them off me. Kyle Williams, obviously, you've got to be sure. I don't know what they're going to do about punt return next season. Obviously, Ted Ginn comes back.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're going to make him the man. But
they'll just have to inject him some more.
Yeah. And Carlos Rogers.
Yeah.
Now, look, I know he had 11 tackles, but, probably 10 of those are on...
cover anyone.
10 of those are on Victor Cruz.
That had caught the ball already in front of him.
For a guy that was touted from Washington.
Yep.
Big talker out of the Redskins. I'm going to, be awesome for this 49ers team.
Didn't do.
Yeah.
Shit.
Anyway,
there
you go.
They're good. I think we might run out of time, so.
All right.
Follow us. Click
the
on
the
subscribe, and we'll put the address in the comments so you can listen to the whole podcast.
And Cam Cameron, if you're listening, throw to Anquan.
And Joe Flacco, just piss off.
Yeah, go away.
Just go play CFL.
Sit in the corner, play with
no one likes you.
Play with your Siler.
Play with your superpowers and go home.